Namaste everyone. My name is Vaishali Shah. I welcome each one of you to our session on Hindu culture and lifestyle. It's a book series which is talking about various aspects of Hindu culture, the way we should be following. As promised, today we have a very interesting guest who's going to talk about the footprint of Ramayana in different countries. So before we start our session, let's do a small prayer. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Shakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. सो बिफोर आई वेलकम अनीता जी, अनीता बोस जी, आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है इन आवर सेशन ऑन hinduscriptures.com फेसबुक पेज।
Namaste ji. Namaste
जी
ji.
नमस्ते।
Mhm.
आपको जैसे मैंने बताया था वैसे वी हैव बीन इंटरव्यूइंग पीपल फ्रॉम डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड who's doing some or other research on various aspects of Hinduism. So before we start our conversation, I would like to read out your small introduction to our audience so that they
Okay ji.
know who you are.
Okay, thank
She's the follower of Swami Vivekananda. Her goal of the life is doing seva to Bharatvarsh through her writing, painting, teaching, volunteer work for underprivileged children and women, spreading the eternal wisdom through a private organization, Akna Sarata Ramakrishna Path Chakra. She got awarded by Uttar Pradesh government for her debut work on Ramayan research, and Odisha Patachitra
Patachitra.
along with Seva work. Her guiding in Bangkok National Museum highly appreciated by various organizations and thousands of people from different parts of the world. She did 14 national and international exhibitions till date based on Ramayana. Her book's name is Ramayan Footprints in Southeast Asian Culture and Heritage, Pachitra of Odisha and Jagannath Sanskriti, and Saptapadi and other stories. Various articles on Hindu culture and heritage in prestigious journals of Indonesia and Thailand in India have been published and written by her. So Anita ji, आपका बहुत स्वागत है. Please tell us something about yourself. How did you start your journey? How did you get into Ramayana? And what is your educational background?
Yeah. Namaste and thanks, Vaishali ji, for this beautiful opportunity to telling something in your diaspora, in your platform. Actually, what you say, you start by the Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda, and my ideal, my life, everything is related with Swami Vivekananda, Sri Ramakrishna Dev, and Sri Sardama. So basically, I am a person of art and history, and I did my and the person of literature also. So I did my masters in literature, then other three masters degree in the Indology, appreciation of Indian art, and Ramakrishna Vivekananda movement. And as a I am an artist, and you can say I never went in an art college, but self-taught artist. And for my husband transferring in various part of the India and other places, I learned a huge, our country is full with a rich cultural heritage, and I learned those things wherever I transfer. I learn from there the traditional Indian art, and in this way my artistic life have also two part. One is the traditional art, another one is my contemplative art. So this is my art life, and through this art, through this passion of writing and passion of mainly, you can see that you can say that I am a person of the lifelong learner. जहाँ भी जाती हूँ, whatever I can learn. This is the thing that each and every moment we should learn, because it's a very long journey of our life, and we know very little bit. And in this way, when I went there, my husband transferred in Thailand last 6 years ago. I went there and I joined in the National Museum Bangkok as a volunteer, National Museum volunteer. And that is the first point. When you I just entered to the National Museum Bangkok, I saw a 5 feet Rama image in front of the National Museum Bangkok. And that is the turning point of my life, that how and why this is a Buddhist country and they can put a 5 feet Rama image inside their national museum. We cannot do that. So why, and what is the basic history, and what is the link for that? And this is the, and then I went to the, as a, I love to read book, and I was a member of various library of this Thailand, and Sam Society is another very big name in Thailand history, and not only Thai history, I can say that in the Southeast Asian cultural history. And they have a particular section of book that is full with the different Ramayana. So these two things change me. And before Ramayana research, I, as an artist, as an art historian, I did research on the Raghurajput, the Orissa Patachitra, and continuous 6 years. I know personally to making the Patachitra, and then I did the research and did the book. And then this is the second research-based book because there is lots of Ram Katha, there are lots of Ramayana, Ram Leela. But in this present world, when someone want to ask some authentic work which needs some reference, which needs some quotation, that what and how the Ramayana enter the other world, how can people get that thing? So as the Indian education system, we never knew. We know the history of Europe, we know the history of America, but how many we know about the history of our neighboring country? How many people know that Burma have 13 Ramayana? How many we know that Laos have, they have Ramayana, Cambodia have Ramayana? They lived it life through that thing. We don't know that.
We don't know.
And that's the point. And as Swami Vivekananda always told that your country is full with mine of knowledge and heritage and tradition. Find it. He told this thing to Sister Nivedita, that find it, prove it, unless until you cannot do it, just do by that passion. So I, you can say that I I am trying to find my Bharat Barsha to inside my India and outside my India. So this is the beginning of the journey. And when I will show the presentation, I make a beautiful presentation for all of you. So I can telling the story, go through the presentation. So this is the beginning of my work of the Ramayana. And painting is my passion from last 20 years. I did a lot various exhibition in India, Thailand, and many places. And I am closely associated with the Ramakrishna Mission Palli Mongol. That is the, they are working for the women and the kids. And in Thailand also, I associated with a Thai organization. I teach them traditional art, batik painting, which can, they can earn something through that art. So
Okay.
this is my small life, and this is the way I try to do seva to my motherland.
That's so interesting, Anita ji. You're really inspiring a lot of ladies who live outside India, especially Indian ladies, and many of them have got plenty of time. So, like the way you made best use of time exploring the different aspects of Ramayana, I'm sure our audience would like to take up something out of it and make best use of their time, because we have time for shopping, for kids,
Yes.
for idiotic shows on television, but we don't give time to our scriptures. And my through my efforts, that is what I'm trying to tell people, that the way we make time for everything else, this is the time. And this is a wonderful era as such,
Yeah.
that we have facilities, we have internet, we have
That's
so much.
very important thing, that we don't need
Yeah,
to go any place. If you
exactly.
want to, if you want to ask, if you want to need something, just
Hmm.
type it and go that place. Yeah, that's the thing. Hmm.
Yeah, so this is the best way to use our time. So that's why I think this is the best era. So I hope that our audience also will take some clue out of your journey and will understand that how important it is. Not necessarily Ramayana, they can pick up any topic
Yeah,
from
yeah,
scriptures,
yeah,
anything related
definitely.
to Hindu culture, heritage,
Yeah,
our history, our lifestyle, our culture, anything.
yeah.
So, Anita ji, please tell us how your research happened, and please show us your presentation and take
Yeah,
us through.
I will go through my presentation, and then I will give the all those small the story, you can say the story, but this is the fact actually. I will
Yeah.
share that thing. Okay, so
Yeah,
give me
and meanwhile, I'll start sharing our video on different groups. So you might seeing me sharing things on my phone. Yeah,
yeah, definitely, no problem, but just you telling me that
please
could
start.
you see the
Yes, I
uh,
can see that. Yes, I can see
yeah,
that.
now it's okay, it's a full
Yes,
screen.
perfect, perfect, perfect.
Yeah, so I am starting my speech with my, you can say it's a photographic journey. You can say it's a photographic journey. The Ramayana footprints in Southeast Asian culture and heritage. And what you see here, the first picture, you can see that Rama, that 5 feet image of the bronze image of Lord Rama in front of the National Museum, Bangkok. So this is the beginning of the turning point of my life, because it's not only the Rama, it is actually, this is a connection of whole ancient India with the other part of the Southeast Asia, with the other part of the Asian country also, ASEAN, the people said the ASEAN countries. Here you can see a big map of India, and in our National Museum, Bangkok, we have a room named Asia Room, and in that Asia Room, you can see this map, that how that Indian influence came to Southeast Asia. So you can see 3 points. One is near Kolkata and the Odisha, the Bengal and Odisha. This is one point. Another point is the Amaravati, and another point was the southern part of the India. And those 3 places, from those 3 places, the ship, the maritime trading, and the Brahmins, and the culture and the heritage, it's passed away. It's a journey. It was a journey for them from a Bharatvarsha to Burma to Thailand to Myanmar to Malaysia to Indonesia, Sumatra, Burma, Borneo, even up to Philippines and few places of China. So it's a very proud moment whenever I stand in front of that map and I do guiding from the different part of the people, and I feel really, really very proud that this is my country, this is our Indian map, and here it is written that how Indian influence came to Southeast Asia. But at the same moment, at the same point, I was really little bit sad also, that why not we know about that thing? Why not we read this thing in our history book? Why not we know our neighboring country? So this is the Ramayana, an intangible heritage of the Southeast Asia. So what is my belief after seeing my presentation also, you people get a idea that Ramayana is not only an epic, Ramayana is not only related with the Hinduism, Ramayana break all the path, Ramayana break all the border, and Ramayana is a unique thing which is not only related with the literature, but it is related with the performing art, it is related with the paintings, it is related with the my people lives, and the economic of also. So now you can say that I, in my first stage of research work, first stage, last 6 years, what I did, that is the 7 countries. I went there personally. I do the research through the museum, through the people, through the historical places. I use my pictures in my book. And this is the Ramakien in Thailand. What is the name of the Ramayana in the different country? Here the name, the Thailand Ramakien. Indonesia is the Kakavin Ramayana. Malaysia have Hikayat Seri Rama. Philippines have Maharadya Lavana. Cambodia have Riamkar. Laos Fralak Pralam. Burma have Ramachandra. This is the only one name what I mentioned here, the main name, but I will show you that how the influence is so deep impact on the life of the peoples and life of those countries. So the Thailand, this Thailand, Cambodia, Indonesia, they're known as the old name in our scripture, and it is not the ancient scriptures. I think the uh, few years back, at least 40 years back, also when we read about the local deities, the puja scripture, you can get the name Sham, Kamboj, those. So what is that Sham? That Sham is the Thailand. Sham this, and now it is known as the Siam also. So that Thailand have different type of Ramayana performance, and the Ramayana influence in their dance drama, Ramayana influence in their literature, in the shadow puppetry, and the dolls, the just like a wooden dolls, those. So the Ramakian, Khon, Nangyai, Nangtulung, Hun, those all are the part of the Thai Ramayana. And what I noticed, that the respect and the love and the passion and the dedication for an ancient living tradition is remarkable. In the first picture, you can see one mask room because Southeast Asian Ramayana or dance drama is very much influenced by the southern part of the India, and they used the beautiful mask for the whole character. But in Thailand, Rama and Sita and Lakshmana don't use the face mask, but other characters may use that thing. And in the second picture, you can see a guy, second and third two pictures, two young men, and in the white shirt, he is the person, his name is Benjamin Tadri, and he is a Canadian person. He believe in Indian philosophy. He went there, and he came to our country, but somehow he could not manage to stay here, so he went back to Thailand and lived there. And not only that, he did, he learned the Khon dance performance, and he was the one of the best Hanuman actor of Thailand. And the second one is the highest paid Ravana actor of the Thailand. But what I want to telling you, that those all the actors and actress and the students and the new generation, it's not like that they are the old people, so they have that respect. The respect what they did, what they do for our culture is superb. They never put those masks in the field, in the that our floor. They always would, if even Benjamin told me that even if we have we need to eat something, we are hungry, then they should put this mask as like this, and they take a plate in a one hand or put it in a very in a table or in a chair. Maybe he can stand and take the food, but they never put any type of mask in the floor. So, and always, and if you see that in the first picture, there is the in the middle of the picture there is a mask of Lord Ganesha. And whatever they are doing, they at first they pray to Lord Ganesha, and then they start their program. So Ramayana in Thailand is in the painting, 178 mural painting. Uh, Many people we are visiting the traveling the Thailand and Phuket and many places, because Pattaya, Phuket, Koh Samui, Koh Samet, there are so many beautiful tourist spots in Thailand. But how many we are looking up that inside the Grand Palace in Bangkok, they have a Ramayana gallery. They have a Ramayana gallery, and that gallery they have 178 Ramakian painting. Here you can say that Jatayu came to Rama and Lakshmana, and Ravana abducted Sita. And it is not only in painting. Thailand is full with the different type of sculpture, the stone sculpture. That is, someone is belong from 10th century, someone from 12th century, someone from 14th centuries, and the Prashat Phimai, Noim Panemrung, those palaces, that those prashads are full with the sculpture of Ramayana. And this Phimai also came, the Phimai word also came from the Bhimaya, the Puri of the Bhimaya, Bhimaya Pura. And from Bhimaya Pura, the pronunciation changed, now it's the Phimai. And the Rama story on the gold lacquer cabinet and the metal work. Here you can see the beautiful lacquer work of the Southeast Asia. And that lacquer work and that Jatayu and that Garuda is the symbol of the Thailand. So this whole thing is related in their life. And I think many of you know that the Thai kings are taking oath as the name of the Rama. And famous, the world famous King Rama IX was the Bhumibal Aduleja. So they all are taking the name of the Rama 1, Rama 2, Rama 3. And this is not only that, the different form of expression of Ramayana in the leather puppet, in the puppetry, and they did it. The Indonesia also doing it, Thailand also doing it, the Ramayana through this leather puppet show. And now I came to Indonesia, people are saying that if I say something about that, oh, there is a Hindu culture or there is an eternal cultural link with India, people first of all say that, oh, it's a Bali. Bali is a Hindu province. But it's not only Bali, it's a Java, it's Surabaya, it's a Jogjakarta, it's Jakarta, everywhere. If you have that mind, if you have that eyes, you please open the mind, open the eyes, and you can see the link and that how that Indian influence, how our eternal wisdom is working there. This is a Japanese manuscript to most important moments of the Ramayana in a two scene from a Balinese palm leaf manuscript painting, and they known as this is known as the Serat Ramakeling, a modern Japanese version of the Ramayana, and illuminated in the manuscript dated 1814, and it is now in the British Museum. And here you can see that most famous two stories of the Ramayana. One is the Golden Deer, and another one is the abduction of Sita. And by the way, I can say that my research show us show me that maybe they have different type of few story, because it is obviously that in India we have the different type of Ramayana version. So when it went to Southeast Asia, it was mixed with that Valmiki Ramayana, Kambo Ramayana, Tulsidashi Ramayana, Kritivashi Ramayana, and with that the local story, the local heroic story, that local Kingvadanti, those are also mixed. But Rama, Lakshmana, Sita ji, and Hanuman ji, and Bibhishan, and few other stories, it's never changed. It's never changed. So this is the old ancient coin to modern souvenir. uh, Rama story continue in the Java, Surabaya, Jakarta. So I went last year in the Surabaya, and from Surabaya I went to Majapahit, the area, the highest and the largest Hindu dynasty was there in Indonesia until 15th century, and that was the Majapahit dynasty. And very sadly, very few people know about that. We know that our Sailandras, Cholas, and those kings were there, and they had a very rich trading system, and they once upon a time their dynasty also spread up to there, and the Pala kings' influence also there. But very few of us know as about the Majapahit. And for that, it's my very personal opinion that for that deep impact, till date, if you see the left hand side, the right hand side picture, this is the souvenir of the Rama and the Sinta in Surabaya, in a biggest mall of Surabaya, and I went to a souvenir shop and I saw this thing and I buy from there. And then in the right left hand side you can see a old coin. This coin from 14th century's Majapahit dynasty. It's in the Surabaya Museum, and Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita uh, on the coin. And then Ramayana, in the Kakavin Ramayana, bridge between the different type of the people, different generation also they connected. They can they the Ramayana in the dance form in the every evening in the Prambanan temple and the Puravasivta in Jogjakarta, they perform Ramayana dance drama, and it's really non-stoppable. 43 years, all those time they every day perform Ramayana in the Puravisatha. And from 5 years to 75 years, actors and actresses are taking part of that. And I asked them, I asked the manager of the Brahmanan temple that why you are playing Ramayana in every night. And she gave me a remarkable answer, and she tell me that Ramayana is our identity. So I was so impressed, and at the same time I was so surprised that we could not say that thing, that Ramayana is our identity. But those Indonesian people, they don't belong from the Hindu community, they are Muslims, and they said Ramayana is our identity. So this is the beauty of the Ramayana, this is the beauty of the Rama, and this is the beauty of the eternal Bharatiya wisdom and the culture that break all the barrier. And this last Hindu dynasty of the Majapahit, and here you can see the first picture that a big, largest Hanuman sculpture in the Majapahit Museum. And this is the very interesting, this middle three picture. You can see like a pond, like a big pond, or you can say a lake, and it is come the natural stream water coming from there, and people are doing the meditation, people taking the water, people taking the bath. And they believe in Surabaya, from Surabaya it is I think 60 kilometer away from the Surabaya, there there are 9 mountain, and that mountain known as the Povitra. That Povitra is actually Povitra, pious mountain, the bunch of pious mountain, the 9 mountains. And people can go only one mountain. And we went there and I saw this pond, and people are taking bath, people are praying, people are meditating. And when they came back, they take a jerrycan and took the water to the home. And I was surprised to see, and I say that why you are doing this thing, because it's clearly a old ancient Hindu temple. And here they said that it is a natural Shivalinga, and they pray there, they meditate there, and they believe that this water is equivalent to Ganges river. And they introduced me one Brahmins, and they said that this is the person who worshipped here. But surprisingly, they're not are Hindus. They all not believe in the Islam. So this is the thing, that how Hindu kings and Hindu history and the heritage was spread all over the Southeast Asia, and how till the date people give the respect. And here it is the Malaysia, and this Malaysian Ramayana is known as the Hikayat Sheri Rama. Though after 1970 there are so many political changes, and there are few things are not so well, so maybe it is not going so good, like other Southeast Asian countries. But once upon a time they have their Wayang puppet theater, and many Ramayana related history, and people are taking the Ramayana as the heritage, and they perform it until 1970. In 1927, Rabindranath Tagore went there, and with our Bhashacharya, Dr. Suniti Kumar Chatterjee, and they wrote a book. Rabindranath Tagore wrote a book, the Diary of the Java. So Java's diary, and you can get a beautiful history of the Ramayana influence in Malaysia. I will show here that Hindu deities from Komben cave and the Batu cave, and one Balaputra Deva museum, and that museum is so deeply connected with our Nalanda University. So once upon a time, that's why I show the map, that how the influence went up to the Sumatra and the Borneo and those places. So these caves, these convent caves, are very very old cave, and this is the 12th century Hindu Buddhist deities are found from there. And in this Batu cave, one South Indian person who made the whole Ramayana gallery inside the Batu cave, I think in the 80s, 1984 or 85. And this Balaputra Deva, who helped to make Nalanda University in the time of the Pala kings. So we don't have any Balaputra Deva museum in our country. But in the border of the Malaysia and Sumatra, they have the Balaputra Deva Museum. And actually, I have to go there. I miss that places. But if I went to inside that museum, I believe I can get so many links from the two countries, from those two ancient countries. And now it is Laos, and Laos also have their three type of Ramayana. One is Fralak Fralam. Fralak Fralam is the dance performance of Ramayana or literary Ramayana. Another two was the Pomochak or Brahmachak, and another one is the Dunduvi. Doravi, Bhakt Doravi, that is another name. So this is the Bhatfu complex. Actually, the temple you are seeing in my presentation is the Bhatfu complex, And this is the outstanding example of the integration of symbolic landscape of great spiritual significance of this land and its natural surroundings, and expression the relationship between the nature and humanity. And in that Bhatpyu complex, in that Bhatpyu temple, there are so many Vishnu sculpture, Shiva Linga, and all those things. And behind that temple, you can see a mountain, and that mountain known as the Mahendra Parvata or the Bhadrashara Shiva. They believe they have a natural Shiva Linga there, and every year performance, the people are gathering from the different part of the Lao, and not only Lao, from other neighboring country, and they believe this place is like a Kurukshetra. They're taking the bath and they pray there, they meditate there, and in the evening Ramayana is happening there. So in the Lao, from postal stamp to young Laotian smile, the Ramayana story, the Rama story have a pivotal role. And that's why George Swedes, one of the greatest archaeologists and historian of Southeast Asia, he said that the Laos is the outpost of the Indian culture. And surprisingly, when I went there with Sam Society, and the Ramayana depicted, I saw a Ramayana depicted inside the royal palace of the Champasha. Now it is a hotel. And when we went there for the dinner, and I wear these Indian dresses, and the people asked me that which country from you, and I said that I am coming from India, and they said, okay, go up and see the ceiling of the hall. And we went up and we saw the hall, and when I just look like ceiling, and I saw that the whole Ramayana story is painted over the ceiling. So you can understand my feelings that I am almost 3 to 4,000 kilometers away from my country, and I never knew about the Laos. I never heard about the Paksti or Champasa. And there, people are painted their royal palace, their hotels with Ramayana, and the Rama story in the wood also. The Wat Ziang Thong, there are so many temples, but I choose this temple. This Wat Ziang Thong, a magnificent masterpiece of the Luang Prabang. And you can see the beautiful Rama, Lakshmana, Hanuman, Sitaji, the beautiful wood carving. And Southeast Asia is very famous for the golden lacquer work. And you can see the whole temple. It's a Buddhist temple. It's a Buddhist temple, and they decorated the whole temple with the Ramayana. So Thailand is a Buddhist country, Indonesia is a Islamic country. Laos is the mixed country with the tribes and their indigenous people, and the French collaboration, the French influence also very deep on the Lao. But till the date, they can paint their temple with the Ramayana story. They can do the wood carving, they can dance, and they can also perform the Ramayana. And this is the Cambodia. That Cambodia is always focused to us. I remember in my our childhood that those Cambodia are very much ill affected by the war and the political. We just grow up with that political stories, but we never knowing that how the cultural story binding us, how they are the part of our life also. So that Cambodia have lots of our Vishnu Purana story, lots of our the churning ocean stories, and they have also Ramayana. They have the Riyamkar, they have Vishnu, they have Apsara. Their national symbol is the Apsara. So the Garuda is the national symbol of Thailand. Apsara is the national symbol of Cambodia, and the Rama story in the stone. Cambodia is the full of beautiful stonework, beautiful temples. Largest Hindu temples is Angkor Wat, but it is not only inside the Angkor Wat. If you go to the Bantesari, the small temple of the Mother Lakshmi, if you go to the Bafon, there are so many story. You can see here. I pick up a story of the Rama and Lakshmana fighting, and actually in the right side there is the Shimasita in the Ashok Kanan, and those things are numerous really work based on the Ramayana. And The work of the Banteisari temple is a small temple, but the carving, it's a stone carving and the terracotta carving also. It's a beautiful carving of the, and very interestingly that we don't have any Balmiki temple, but Cambodia have a beautiful Balmiki temple. Maybe that is now not a good position, but they had. And I was surprised to see the Apsara dance and the Riamkar of the Cambodia. And I compared that the fashion and the design sense and the headgear, the jewelries, and the position of the hand, the passion, the figure, the mudra, everything is, if you compare with the sculpture of Angkor Wat, you can see the similarities. So it is continuing. So new generation continuing that inner spirit through the Riamkar performance. And from Cambodia, because I wrote everything in my book, but it's not possible to say everything. So now we are going to the Burma. So in the Burma, it is the Rama Jatra, the Myanmar. They have different type of Burmese Ramayana. Actually, they have 13 Ramayana in the literary form, in the dance form, in the drama. So Ramajatra and the Thiri Rama, and there are so many Ramayana in Burma. And Burma is very close to Bengal because once upon a time, Bengalis are known that Burma is the Rangoon because there are so many Bengali film also made on the Rangoon. And but never knew that they have a city which is known as the Sri Khetra, and that's Srikitro, Hangsha, Binaka, Vaikthano or Vaikanto, those all are now under the World Heritage of the UNESCO. And they can find out the different type of Vishnu image. They are doing the excavation and got those things, and the whole world is surprised to see. And very interestingly, this Burma known as the Ramanna Desha, this Burma known as the Ramanna Desha or Brahma Desha. And they have Nath Luang temple and the Avyadana temple. And the Yamajatra or Yamajatto was introduced by the oral tradition during King Anavartha. And this Anavartha also many people, many scholars say this is known as the Aniruddha, um, and that approx 10th 11th century, although it was not known clearly whether the story was the Valmiki's Sanskrit dialect that came from that epic, or in the Natluang temple, the Vishnu temple, actually it was a Vishnu temple. Within the walls, the old city of the Bagan, there are some stone sculpture, one of which is known as the Ramachandra Structure. And based on Burmese literature, at least Hanuman has been known in Burma before 1527. So it is not like that the Burma knew about Ramayana from only from Thailand. No, it's not true because we had a great connection. We had a very great connection from very past time. So the Rama story in Burmese manuscript painting, and this is known as the Parabike. And this image shown here is the Burmese folding book. They said in that Parabike is in the Parabike in around 1870, and almost I think it is almost 16 to 40 two paintings from there. And this Rama Jatra, or here you can also see. I don't know how clear it is, but the scene is like the Ramayana, the Ashok Kanana, and that golden deer and the abduction of the Sita. This is the thing is painted here. And from Yangon to San State, via Bagan and the Mandalay and the outside Burma too, that journey will actually gradually reveal the aesthetic heritage and the extreme diversity of the Burmese dynasty's tradition and the popular expression, dance, from the ancient Burmese court to the up to the new generation, and the puppetry also, the Ramayana theater. So that journey continued. And here you can see one person with this is Kenneth Wong and his puppet show in the held in the San Francisco. And actually, he had a passion to of new generation for the childhood Rama legend, and How can he transform it in a lightweight puppetry? And he did that. And so the journey is continuing from Thailand to Indonesia to Malaysia to Cambodia to Burma. And now we reach in the Philippines. So that Philippines, people are often asking, Philippines and Ramayana. Yeah, yeah. Philippines have Ramayana. Philippines have three type of Ramayana. And though we know about the Philippines history is mainly focused from the Spanish, um, they explored the Spanish people went there and then there. But what about those indigenous people? What about those old people who were lived there? They had their own culture, they had their own heritage. So Ramayana in Philippines is known as the Maharadi Lavana. They have many nowadays. They got some Buddhist and Hindu deities from the different part of the country. They can link those things from our heritage, and the museums people, the archaeologists are working on that. And I saw first in 2016 the Ramlila of Filipino Ramlila in Bangkok National, the Bangkok International Ramayana Festival. And I was surprised. I never knew about that thing. And I saw their Ramayana. And I was spellbound. And after that, I tried to connect them. And I contact the Stephen Fernandez, the director of that show. And then we invite them in the 2019 in the Ayodhya. And it is really that IPAC perform of the Shita, the Ramayana revisited. Oh my God, that is a so beautiful Ramayana Ramlila they are doing. So after the Maharadya Lavana and all those things, they have the bamboo dance, which is known as the Sinkil. And that Sinkil dance, you can see here that the Shita is the center of the point, and they believe that these bamboos actually are the obstacles of our life, and we should over those obstacles by the blessings of Almighty or the Rama or, or our own um, Ishwar or whatever that. And those influences are coming from the Srivijaya and the Majapahit dynasty and the cultural development of the early Philippines life and the literature. And very surprisingly, if you went to the northeast part of the India, you can see that the people from the northeastern part also are doing this type of bamboo dance. And another one is the hudhud. So who know about the hudhud? How came to know about the Maharadya Lavana? So there are an Indologist, Juan or Francisco. So the Juan went to that land of Maranao or the Lake Maranao, and he saw that the people when harvesting the rice traders of the Ifugao, the Philippines, he saw that the people are singing, they are chanting something. And as an Indologist, he stayed there. He stayed there almost 1 year and learned that language. And then came to know that he translated in English and he find out that this is the chanting, this is the slokas of Ramayana and Mahabharata. So this is the hudhud, and this hudhud consists the narrative chantings, what I say, that traditionally performed by the Ifugao community. And then historians said it's a mix of Mahabharata and Ramayana, and it is practiced during the rice sowing session and all harvest time. The hudud actually comprises more than 200 chants, each divided into the 40 episodes. A complete recitation may last several days. And the Sinkel originated from the Maranao people who inhabit the source of Lake Lanao. And that is also derived from the interpretation of the ancient Ramayana. And the lead dancer in the role was the Putri Gandhi Gan, the Dharanjan name for the Sita. And if you think that the Putri or Putra is a Sanskrit word which is related with the Filipino word, there are so many words are related with the Sanskrit in Philippines. So this is the Sita, and they have one another dance also, the like a fan dance. That is the story also related with this. So this Hudhud and the Daranjan, and the intangible cultural heritage, and this comprising 17 cycle, total 72,000 lines, and they celebrate it till the date. So this is the thing that how the whole research work is going. I did, and I came to know that the huge impact of our one epic, which impact deeply on the Southeast Asia. And after that, I write a book, and that is published by the B Books publication. And you can say this is the journey of a daughter of Bharatvarsha to finding our pride and across the border. But I don't stop my work till date. By the blessings of Ma Sarda, I am working on the another country, and that is known as the Vietnam, or that Vietnam is known as the Champa. So this Ramayana in ancient Champa also very interesting, and most of the thing is documented by the French people. And Champa was a country on the maritime trade route in Asia in the 7th century. It had a deep impact of the ancient Bharat. They have an area known as the Mason, and that Mason temple ground have 70 temple. After the carpet bombing of American soldier till the date, if someone can find the whole area of the Mason temple ground, Bintan and all those places, you can get a beautiful temple structure, maybe which is scholars and archaeologists are um, thinking that maybe it is greater than Angkor Wat. And this Champa have another Ramayana, and that is known as the Pramdit Pramlak. And this Ramayana depicted on the base of the Khongmai temple, group above the temple 10 to 12 centuries, and the excavation of the 1927-28 IFEO and the Professor Jan Glover, they found out those old temples. And this is the link of the Chinese and the Indian tradition and the trading. You can see this all are finding from the Vietnam. Here is a big Shiva Linga altar, and from that altar, you can see the wedding of the Sita and the Rama, Apsaras dancing and singing from the heaven. And they have also that in the Chinese chronicle, we are not documented our history. We are really lack of that thing. But Chinese are documented all those things, and from there we get that Chandan or the Chandan temples in the 11th to 12th centuries, and they have also the influence of Ramayana. And nowadays the Cham people, the ethnic community living in the southern central Vietnam, keep their own tradition culture in which is Ramayana has been told as the Pramdit Pramlak. So this Pramdit also very interesting because this Dit Pramdit in Thailand the Sunday is known as Athit. So this Athit Dit is coming from the Aditya. So this Aditya is the name of the sun. And if you think Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram is from the Surya Vangsha, the Rama is from Surya Vangsha. So this is all are related. And the story is written in Cham language based on the main theme of Ramayana, composed in a very short version in which Rama is called Pramdit and Lakshmana is called the Pramlak. And this is the biggest Shiva Linga, what I told that you can see the altar, you can see the Shiva Linga and the Joni side. And those Ramayana is sculptured there, the wedding of the Sita on the Trakya altar. This is from 7th century, and this altar was made by the king Prakasha Dharma during the 657-687 in order to dedicate it to Valmiki. So this is the beauty of the Ramayana in the Southeast Asia. Here you can see the Rama broke the bow and the King Janaka sent message to King Dasharatha. This all are from 10th to 12th century. And this is the ethnic people, Poklonggarai in a Ket New Year festival and Porom temples, and people are performing Ramayana here in this festival. So this is the Cham ethnic people in a Ket New Year. So this is the journey, and I do the research on Sri Lanka too. So this is the first part of the Ramayana footprints in the Southeast Asia. The book name is Ramayana Footprints in Southeast Asian Culture and Heritage. It is translated into Hindi, English, and and my next book also coming, and the second part will be full with the history of Vietnam and Sri Lanka. So I think I gave a small, um, just a small history or small, and you can see that all those things till the dead, they live their life inside there. So I believe people will happy to see the presentation. And if thank you very much again, Vaishali ji, thank you very much again to give me this opportunity to share my thoughts. Thanks. Namaste.
Oh, it's really nice. I was like amazed to see one after another. So many countries have got influence of Ramayana and that too so strongly. But I've got a couple of questions in my mind that the countries you mentioned where the Muslim influence is there, do they have any possibility to go back to their roots because they were always Hindus? So what is their thought on that? Have you ever thought of, have you come
See,
across?
in the yeah, yeah. I went to Jogjakarta, and they
Hmm.
have the palace named the Kraton. And in 1927, Rabindranath Tagore also was there. So I went the backside of the Kraton, and I took the leather puppet, so those things, and I talked to the people who are making those things. And that person telling me that you are my sister. So I say, how? So he said that you are my sister. Also very important, that they acknowledge to go back to there, and they at least they acknowledge that this is coming from your culture. They do that
That's
thing.
wonderful. So, I'm sure you must have gone through the text of Ramayana. Have you seen any difference in the text and the story from the Ramayana, which is here and there?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what is where is the difference? Main difference?
Main difference is mainly the Rama is not always like a divinity, but Rama is for them. Rama is a symbol of the hero. Rama is the symbol of the perfection. Rama is the symbol of the balance. A person, how they can balance. Rama is the symbol of perfect king. So that's why if you go to Southeast Asia, you can get a concept of Devaraja. This is a very interesting word in the Southeast Asian history. Devaraja is the king and the deity, divinity. So they believe that their king is the avatar or the incarnation of the Vishnu. And which avatar? This is the avatar of the Rama. Because the Rama was a perfect king. So this is
Yeah,
the thing. This is the thing. Why the Thai people are pray to, when you know that I am very the lucky person who saw the cremation and coronation both in Thailand. And when they did the cremation of the King Rama 9, and they made a heaven, I went there. I was surprised to see. And as a member of National Museum Bangkok, we also went the art college, and I saw that people are just put the paper in the wall, and that is a belong from our Puranas. I saw that thing, and they are making the all the darpala, all the animals, all the flowers, which is mentioned in our Puranas, because they believe that their king is Rama, and he was the incarnation form of Lord Vishnu, and he went back to his Vishnu Loka. So they made compact Vishnu Loka in the ground of Sanam Luang, and people, it was amazing feeling. I cannot explain it in my words, that when you are staying there, you stand before that, oh, this side, this is the Ganesha side, that side is the Kubera. They made all those things because they believe that Vishnu is go back to the heaven. So the
beautiful.
impact is so deep here, and in Thailand also, they have the harvesting, what we said, that holocaustion, in Sanskrit, holocaustion, the plowing
Hmm.
session. And
Ji.
they do that plowing session in the middle of the city. There is a big ground named Sanam Luang ground opposite the Grand Palace and opposite the National Museum Bangkok. And the ministry, the agriculture minister, with king or the prince or princess or queen, they are literally plowing. They have a big plow, red plow. They do the puja, they do all those Hindu customs, and that was also done by the Hindu Brahmins, not Buddhist monks. And then they go do the cow, those nine type of seeds, and the cow, which seeds they eat, that is the depend that how the agriculture will focus that year. And every time that Holocaust day, I stay there 6 years, and I saw that every Holocaust day of the Thailand, that it must be raining. And what we say that pushpa brishti, that is the
Yes.
looks like the blessings of the gods, is like a light raining. And all those newspaper of that Thailand, that they that they must report that today it was a blessings of the holy Vishnu, or like that, so that is the raining.
Oh,
So this is the impact, in Cambodia. I met the people and I asked them that what is the impact of your life, and they said that, see, if we have any problem in the village area, maybe it's a disease, maybe it's that one kind of the what can I say, that the no rain, so it's dirt, and they went to the Buddhist temple. They request to monks that give us the solution, and then what the monks did? Monks have a small like a stick, and they close the eyes. They took the Ramayana. They close the eyes and they put the stick, and which page is open up? If that page writing about the Sita's abduction or some fighting, that means it's a huge problem is coming. And
oh my
if
God.
and if that page is open up and the Sita is go back to with Rama, or any good scenery, or any good description, the positive description, that means you have not so serious thing. So this is the belief. So how can
Beautiful.
how can you define, those things? That's why when once upon a time, I think at the time of President Sukarno in Indonesia, they made a religious something like an international religious festival or like that. And many monks are participant, many different religious people are participant, and in the night time they perform Ramayana, because it is in their blood, you know. And then people were furious from few other countries that why in a global religious platform you did a conference, and why you are a Islamic belief country and you are doing playing Ramayana. And then what I came to know that Sukarna told that maybe religiously we are believe in a different path, but culturally Asia is bound by the Ramayana. So this is the line I follow that thing, and I try to focus on that thing. So
It's such a beautiful line. You really make me numb actually, because in India we don't see this kind of influence in our society anymore, especially the modern cities. The city where I've grown up in Mumbai, and I've seen other cities. It's very not evident at all. People just don't understand the importance of Ramayana in our life and how much can we learn from
yeah,
them.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
I mean, for me also hearing you the whole presentation, and after seeing all those photographs you have taken from different parts of the world, it's really amazing. And it really actually, the more I talk to people like you, the more I get interested, the more I get firm about what work I'm doing, because through our website
Mhm.
hinduscriptures.com and my series Hindu Culture and Lifestyle, I've tried to come out with the concept that what we are following now is like we are distracting from our original route.
Yes,
And
yes.
then of course, we are facing so many problems because of that, related to health, relationship, everywhere. So
Everywhere.
it's time that we go back to the same place where we have, where we come from. And
At least we can, what my thought is that, okay, I could not telling people that you go back to the ancient time, but what is the wisdom, what
mm,
was our teaching?
exactly.
Why that is, it's not like that the all those old thing are bad. You have to choose, you have to give the respect, And because those countries, and nowadays I am the I am looking after the convener office of the global encyclopedia project, and global encyclopedia of the Ramayana project under the UP government and the Indian cultural ministry. And as a convener from the last 6 months, I connected almost 18 countries, from Australia to New Zealand to Fiji and all those countries, the Caribbean island, from the Japan. And you don't believe that how much respect they have for our culture. But
Right.
very, very sadly, we never documented those things. So this is the first time the government start to documentation, that how Ramayana, it's not like only for the religious belief, how it is,
Exactly.
yeah, how it is in your daily life, how it is impact in your thought. And you don't believe that in Chicago fourth international Ramayana conference last month, I listened to Professor Michael and Professor Tony Nader, and they are wonderfully related with the neuroscience and the Ramayana. So I learn in each and every moment, and
That is
whatever I learn, I want to share. That's the thing. And thanks again for that, to giving this opportunity. Okay.
That's lovely. Thank you so much for your lovely presentation. I really enjoyed and I really got inspired because, as I said, the more I talk to people like you, the more I also get enlightened. And whenever I talk to my audience, I get some more points. So,
Yeah.
if possible, please share some of the slides of your presentation, maybe one or two,
Okay.
with our audience, because that I'll post it on our Facebook page so
Okay.
that those who have missed or those who would just like to see a small glimpse of the images that how Ramayana is there in other countries, I would want them also to know in Instagram and other social media platforms.
Definitely. And if you can also share my book, because the this book is also available in the whole world, the Amazon and the Flipkart, everywhere, because
Yeah,
it's a very small presentation. And if really one person also get the interest and read the book, you can, because I gave all the references. I believe in authenticity. I believe the
right.
authentic work. So that's why it's not a story. It's a, I present there, I take lots of interview, lots of reference. You can got that list and everything. So I will definitely send you now. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
In
you so much.
future, if I can join again. And I am working on the Durga also, Mother Durga, the eternal woman power, and how it is went to from Bengal to Indonesia. And
Oh,
yeah, that is also working. I am working on that. And another project is also going on the Puranas, how the
beautiful.
impact of the Purana, because the Purana is not mere only the story. They
True.
they give us morality, and we
True.
forget that thing. We forget that thing. So thanks again, Vaishali. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
Namaste.
Okay. Namaste. Namaste. Okay.